Okay, good evening, everyone. So in the last classes, we have seen like how to create the custom Amazon machine image, right? And from the starting onwards in the EC2 topic, like we discussed about the different purchasing options and different tenancy models, but we have created only one type of the purchasing model and one type of a tenancy model. We haven't seen like how to create the spot instance, and also we haven't seen how to create the reserved instances, right? So quickly, we will discuss about what is a spot instance and reserved instance, and we will see how to create the spot instance and the reserved instances. So first one, what is the spot instance? First one, what is a spot instance? I think already we discussed about that. What is a spot instance? So the spot instance is a purchasing model which will give you like a huge discount, like up to 90%. And how they will give you is Amazon will maintain spare resources all the time. From those spare resources, they will allocate you one EC2 instance, and they do have some kind of a spot price, and they will ask you that how much you can pay. Let us say Amazon is offering you like $10 per hour. So you can claim, you can bid an amount like $20, and the Amazon spot price will continuously change. It might increase or it might decrease. Whenever the Amazon's spot price is more than the price what you have mentioned, then your EC2 instance will be deleted. That is the challenge, or that is the drawback with the spot instances. And the spot instances cannot be used for the production or development purpose. Purely that is for like temporary usage, we have to use that. Okay, so that is what spot instance is. So first what we do is, let us create a spot instance in Northern Virginia region with let us say 0. Northern Virginia region, and the instance type will be T3.micro. T3.micro. Generally, the T3.micro is a free tier, right? But in the spot instance, that is not the free tier. That will be chargeable. Generally, why I am choosing the T3.micro is that will charge me very less amount. That's why I'm choosing that. Instead of that, you can go with something called like T3.large or T3.2x large or whatever it is. That doesn't matter. And whenever you are creating the spot instance, the thing is you have to mention maximum amount that you are okay to pay. So I am okay to pay like a 0. Let us say $0.07 per hour. This is my maximum amount which I would like to pay per hour. But what is the Amazon's spot price? How much Amazon is charging right now? Because that price will vary every minute. Continuously, the price will vary. So what is the current Amazon's spot price? On June 18th at like 6:11 p.m., what is the spot price of T3.micro instance? So here what we do is, before creating, first let us observe the spot price of, check the spot price of T3.micro Windows instance in Northern Virginia region, because the pricing will be slightly varied for Linux and Windows machines. Anywhere, even in the on-demand also, the pricing will be different for Windows and Linux, and the pricing will be different in each and every region. Depending on the region, the price will be varied, but the difference will be very small, but there is a change. So before creating the spot instance, first we will observe what is the spot price and how much it is less than on demand pricing. We have to know, right, by using the spot instance, how much discount we are getting, especially in the Northern Virginia. So from where we can check the spot price? How can we know that? What is the current spot price of the T3.micro in Northern Virginia? So first log into your Amazon account and then go to the service EC2. Just open the EC2 service. So how we created the EC2 instance? Just we can click on instances and we can launch instance and everything, right? The spot instances also to be created in the same way, but by selecting a simple, a different option. Okay. So first I would like to check what is the spot price. To check the price of the spot instance, under this instances, you can see there is one option called spot request, right? Spot request. Click on the spot request. Click on the spot request. And here there are a lot of options available. Out of these, here you can see there is one option called pricing history. Click on the pricing history. And what is our requirement? T3.micro, right? So here select T3.micro. Okay, I think we have selected a huge price, which is a more than on-demand price. This price we will change. This is not the reasonable value. We are paying very high. We are selecting very high than the on-demand price. Okay, so here you can see what is the on-demand price of the T3.micro, which is a Windows. You can see what is the price of the Windows? 0196. But if I go for Linux, 0.01. So obviously there is a difference between the Linux and Windows machines, because the Linux doesn't have any licensing price, but for Windows we'll have a licensing cost. Windows operating system, we have to purchase the license. So this pricing will include the cost of the operating system also. Okay. So anyways, what is the on-demand price? Almost 0.02. Approximately 0.02, and these are the spot prices in the 1A availability zone. Right now the spot price is 0.0123, almost like 37% discount. And you can see in all the availability zones the pricing will be the same, but if you select the different region, then you will get a different pricing, because across the regions the pricing will be different. Okay, so here this is 0.0123 is the current price, and I will say 0.015. This is the maximum amount I would like to pay. I'm okay to pay up to 0.015. Okay, so here at this moment, what is the on-demand pricing? On-demand pricing of the T3.micro, 0.0196. Whatever the amount you will get less than this, that will be the good one, right? That will be some advantage. So right now, what is the current spot price? What is the current spot price? 0.0123. So now we are okay to pay up to 0.015. What is the meaning of that? This is called as maximum bidding amount. We are going to bid up to 0.015. While creating the spot instance, you have to select what is the amount you would like to pay. I will select this one. That doesn't mean that Amazon will charge you this amount. Amazon will charge a current spot price only. This will change over a period of time, right? Every minute it will increase or decrease. So according to the current price, you will be charged. Let us say after a few hours, this current spot price reach 0.015. Still your instance will be running. But the moment when the current spot price is more than the value what you are willing to pay, that is the moment when your spot instance will be deleted. Okay, so now we are going to pay the maximum amount as 0.015. So now let us see how to create. So to create the spot instance, go to the instances in your EC2 service. And remember, whatever the spot instance we are creating, that is available on chargeable basis. That is not eligible for free time. Okay. So click on launch instances here. So here I will say a spot instance, just the name of the server. And I will select Windows. If you got that kind of message, click on confirm changes. And this is the same process, right? Everything will be the same. Whatever the process you have followed to create the on-demand instance, the same options, but in one place, we have to change one option to create the spot instances. That we will see. So here, the first thing, give a name to your instance. This is the instance name. Select your AMI. Instance type. What is the instance type? T3.micro. And just scroll down. Select the key pair. And you can change the network security, network settings, and all the things. So here you can click on edit and you can select your required subnet. And here, instead of creating a new security group, I'm going to select a security group which is already existing. So in whatever the security group we are attaching to this EC2 instance, what ports to be opened in the incoming rules? What ports? Which ports we have to open mandatorily to log into that Windows or the Windows machine to be accessible. So I'm creating one Windows server, right? That will be attached with a security group. What ports we have to open in that security group? 80. Why? Why 80? What is that 80 port? HTTP. What is that HTTP? Okay. So I created one Windows server. Okay. Assume that I haven't opened any rule. Just I added an empty security group. Then what we do, we will try to log in. That is the first thing we have to do, right? So am I able to log into the Windows machine? Yes. How? Yesterday I said that by default, the security group will not allow any incoming traffic. By default, every traffic will be blocked. How can we log in? On what basis we are trying to log in? By using which protocol we are trying to log into the Windows machines? On which protocol? So here, this is the Windows server, right? So here the public IP address is there, 1.2.3.4. And assume that this is the Windows machine. So there is a user who can log in from somewhere across the globe. Okay. So here there is a security group. And whenever he is trying to log in, how he will be able to log into the Windows computer? What he do? Let us say from this machine, I am trying to log into this Windows computer. What I have to do on my laptop to log in? Okay, so now I would like to log in. What I have to do in my computer to log in? Forget about AWS. I'm in my laptop, right? I would like to log into the Windows computer. So how or what I have to do to log in? Do I need to open a notepad to log in? Then what I have to open? Browser, username and password. Where to open the username and password? Okay, username is administrator and password is something 1234. Okay, what I have to do with that? My question is how to log in. Let us say you are going for an exam, right? How you will write exam? That's what I'm saying. Like here to log in, what I have to use? Which one? Okay, IP address. Okay, 1.2.3.4 is the IP address. Okay, then what I have to do? EC2 instance IP address is 1.2.3.4. Okay, username is administrator. The password is 1234 is the password. So now what I have to do to log in? So we have to use a tool called remote desktop connection, right? This is the one. This is the remote desktop connection. Directly, I cannot communicate or I cannot log into the server using the RDP protocol, right? All the Windows machines can be logged in using the RDP protocol. Then what about Linux? How to log into the Linux machine? Using SSH protocol. For that, what kind of tool I have to use? Can I use this same remote desktop connection? No. For that, you have to use the SSH client, which is a PuTTY or a Mobaxterm, or there are a number of things. Okay. So now this is the remote desktop connection. So this user has to open the remote desktop connection, and then he will enter the IP address. Then the request will be sent to the server, and the server will send a response to enter the username and password, right? That's how we will log in. So this request will go through the security group, right? Now to allow this particular request, which port I have to open in the security group? If I don't open anything, everything will be locked, right? So the request will go here and it will be dropped. It will not enter into the server. Let us say you asked someone to come to your house and you locked your door, then he cannot enter into your house, right? So at least you have to give some spare key or something, or at least you have to open the door completely. So in the same way, in this security group, what I have to open? Which port I have to open? So this request is going on a protocol called RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. So that RDP must be open from anywhere, at least from your IP address, then only we can, right? RDP port must be opened in the security group of the Windows EC2 instance. Okay, so here I have used a Windows RDP. This is the security group which we created in the first EC2 instance creation, in which we opened 3389 port from anywhere. So from anywhere across the globe, I can communicate with the Windows server using RDP protocol. But still, if I open the RDP protocol, that doesn't mean that I can log in successfully. To log in successfully, I must know the username and password of the server. Opening the RDP protocol just allow me to communicate with the server on RDP protocol. That's it. Okay. Then just scroll down. We know the size of the hard disk, 30 GB. And we will scroll down and we'll click on launch instance, right? So whenever you click on the launch instance, by default, the instance will be on-demand instance. Whatever the instances we have created, those all are on-demand instances. Now our requirement is to create a spot instance, right? So to create the spot instance, here there is one option called advanced details, right? Click on the advanced details. Click on the advanced details, and here the first option itself, purchasing option. By default, the request spot instances option will not be selected. That is unchecked. If I check this, the instance will be spot instance. If I select this checkbox, then the instance will be spot instance. If I don't select, the instance will be on demand. Then what about the reserve? To create the reserved instance, we have to follow a different procedure. By using this procedure, we can create either on-demand instance or a spot instance. If you don't select this checkbox, then the instance will be on demand. If you select this checkbox, then it will become a spot instance. Okay, so here I have selected the spot instance. And if I go to the bottom and if I click on launch instance, spot instance will be created. But where is the maximum price that we have to update? We have to go to customize. If I don't select customize option, if I don't mention the maximum amount, then what will happen? It will not be terminated. Like it will increase up to the on-demand price. If the Amazon price is increasing, that means I'm okay to pay whatever the amount is. Okay. So here, just click on the customize. After selecting the checkbox against request spot instances, click on customize. And you can see what is the maximum price. What is the first option selected by default? No maximum price. That means whatever the Amazon price is, I am okay to pay that much amount. So it will be increased up to on-demand price. The spot price will be paid up to on-demand price. There is no restriction. In that case, there will be no termination of your spot instance. But if it got increased up to on-demand, there is no discount, right? There is no use also. Okay. So now here, select the set your maximum price. Set your maximum price. Okay, 0.015. And here you have to type 0.015. Right now the price is 0.0123 and I am okay to pay up to 0.015. Okay, right, then just scroll down to the bottom. Click on launch instance. Click on launch instance. So click on view all instances. What happened here? Spot instance is getting created, right? So your spot instance will be up and running until the price exceeds $0.015 per hour. And here on the left side, the same page, spot request. If you go to the spot request, and you can see the request which we have submitted earlier. So instance type is t3.micro. What is the status? Fulfilled. That means that got executed. And your spot instance also got created, right? That's why it is showing as a fulfilled. And you can see what is the maximum price? 0.015. And what is the current price? Click on pricing history, t3.micro, and just go to the windows. And the current price is 0.0123. Generally, these instances will not have a demand. Larger instances, you can see the demand. Let us go with something like C3. Okay, this one. See here, the on-demand price is 0.75. So you are getting 0.44, which is 40%. And I will go with somewhat larger. Whenever you are going for the large sizes, you will get more discount. You are going for the larger sizes, obviously you will get a more discount. And here, this one. See here, for this instance, you are getting almost like 70% discount. Because that is giving you like almost like 192 GB of a RAM and 32 CPU. Whenever you're going for the big sizes, you will get more discount. Smaller sizes, you don't get much discount, like 40%, 30, 35% that. If you go for the larger sizes, you will get more discount. In the spot instances, you can get up to 90% discount you can get. Okay, so this is how you can create the spot instances. This is how you can create the spot instance. Now we have another type of instance called a reserved instance, right? What is a reserved instance? The instances which will have some kind of commitment. So in the reserved instance, we have two types again. What are those two? There's a tenure, standard and convertible. What is the difference between the standard and convertible? Okay, I will give you the example of the convertible, then you can understand what is a standard. If the reserved instance is the convertible, then we can exchange the instance with any other instance in the same region. We can exchange that. And here we cannot exchange the instance. What is the meaning of exchange? Let us say today I created one EC2 instance, which is a reserved instance and convertible. So I don't need that anymore. I have created that with 1 year contract. I don't need that. So I have to delete it. So even if I delete, I have to pay for 1 year, right? So what I can do is, if it is a convertible, I can exchange that with a new instance. Let us say I got a new requirement to create a new EC2 instance in the same region. So what I can do, I can exchange that I can say that I am deleting this EC2 instance. Instead of this, I'm going to create one more. So just I'm replacing the old reserved instance with the new reserved instance. That is what convertible. Standard means you cannot do that. Even if you don't have a requirement, you have to use it and you have to pay the money. In both the instances, in both types, either a standard or a convertible, in both the things, you can modify the instance size, but you cannot less. You can increase the size. Let us say today I created with 2 CPU and 4 GB of RAM, and that is a reserved instance. After a few days, I found that I need more resources. So you can increase the size. The difference amount will be charged to you. But let us say you created with 8 CPU and 32 GB of RAM. After 1 week, if you realize that you don't need those many CPUs, you cannot reduce the size, especially in the reserved instance. In other instances like on demand, you can modify at any time from lower to higher and higher to lower. But in the reserved instance, Amazon will never allow you to reduce the size of your reserved instances, even it is a standard or convertible. Always Amazon will allow you to increase the size of the reserved instances by charging the difference amount. They will charge you the difference amount from the moment you upgrade the instance size. Okay, right. So now we will see like how to create the reserved instance, but I will not create it because we have to give the 1 year commitment, right? So I will go to the last step and there we will quit that. We don't create it. Okay, so once you are done with your spot instance, just delete it. Delete that, because every hour you will be charged like $0.0123. Just to show you the difference, just I created that. How to create? The process will be the same. Select the instance, go to instance state and terminate instance. Okay, now I would like to create one reserved instance. Create reserved instance with a 1 year tenure, 1 year tenure, and partial upfront payment option. And I would like to create in Northern Virginia region. OS would like to have a Windows, and instance type, I would like to create a T3.large or whatever it is, that doesn't matter. And instance type should be standard. And already we have noted down the tenure, right? Tenure is 1 year. Payment option, partial upfront. Using these details, I would like to create one reserved instance. And I created one on-demand instance in the last session, and today I created one spot instance, right? On which tenancy model those EC2 instances got created. First, what are the tenancy models we have? Shared tenancy, dedicated, and dedicated host. By default, all your EC2 instances will be created using the shared tenancy model. All the instances will be created by default using the shared tenancy model. So later we will see how to change the tenancy into the dedicated and dedicated host. So first we will see how to create the reserved instance, then we can go for the tenancy options. Okay, so here to create the reserved instance, Go to your EC2 service. On the left side, you can see there is one option called reserved instances, right? Click on the reserved instance. Click on the reserved instances and click on purchase reserved instance. And our requirement is platform will be Windows. Tenancy, I will go with the default. Offering class, standard or convertible? Standard. Okay, whatever it is, that doesn't matter. Let us say convertible. Okay. Instance type, I selected T3 dot large. Okay, let me, where is the T3? T3 dot large term. Okay, you can select any because we are going to search it. We are going to search. Let us see the search. So it will show you the offerings here. Okay, so first thing, what is our requirement? 12 months, right? If you go for the 12-month contract for the T3 dot large, the effective rate is $0.076 per hour if you are going for all upfront and standard class offering. And the very next is convertible, right? Just we can compare the difference between the standard and convertible. What is the difference here? The pricing. Almost $70 difference is there per hour. Convertible is costlier than the standard because it has an advantage that you can exchange your EC2 instance, right? Okay. So here for the standard, what is the charge? $668 per year. For an year, you have to pay $668. Then what will be the cost for 3 years? What is the cost? 2,000, right? I mean, if you create 3 times, like every year, that will be $2,000 for 3 years. Then you can see there is one more reserved instance for 36 months, right? If you take the 36 months tenure, what is the charge? So there is a difference of almost like $500, right? So whenever you increase the tenure and whenever you are paying all amount as an upfront, then you will get high discount. And here, if you see the same 12 months, this is the all upfront, right? What is the price per hour? If it is the all upfront, 0.076. What if the same instance with no upfront? 0.08. There is some change, right? Change in the price. And what about there is a partial upfront? It is in between the full upfront and no upfront. Depending on the options, the price will be decided. And what is our requirement? Partial upfront, standard, 1 year, and T3 dot large. Okay, standard, but not all upfront, right? I have to go for partial upfront, 12 months. So term, let me select 12 months. Search. So here is the partial upfront. Standard. Hourly rate is 0.039. What is that? 0.039. No need to worry. What they do is they divide this entire price into 2 parts, 2 halves. First half you have to pay as an upfront, and the second half you have to pay on a monthly basis. Okay. So let me select this, add to cart. And right now I have to pay $338. And then every month I have to pay $28.18. 28.18 multiplied with 12. What is the price? The same amount, exactly half amount you have to pay now. The remaining half you have to pay on a monthly basis. So you have to click on view cart, order on now, right? Select this one and click on order all, so that you will be taken to a page where you have to make the payment. This upfront price you have to pay immediately. Then this instance will be created as a reserved instance for 1 year with partial upfront. Okay. but I don't want to create because why should we pay like almost like $700? Whether you use it or not, you have to pay. That is how you can create the reserved instance with standard or a convertible. Then at the same time, we will see the tenancy options also. We have a tenancy options, right? What are the tenancy options? 3 tenancy options. One is a shared tenancy. Second one is dedicated. And the third one is dedicated host. By default, whenever you create any EC2 instance, by default, the tenancy will be the shared tenancy model. So no need to check that separately. That will be the shared. Then, if you would like to create an EC2 instance using the dedicated tenancy model, but while you do the practice, don't create, because that will cost you some extra amount. Even I don't create, just I will show you where you have to change the option. I mean, how to select the option and what exactly the options we have to select to create using the dedicated tenancy model. And then we will see about create a dedicated host also. Create a dedicated host and create an EC2 in, okay, let us say instead of that, create an EC2 instance using the dedicated instance tenancy model. This also don't create because that will cost you a huge amount. So first we have to create dedicated host. Guys, if I do if I type something wrong, just let me know. That is not the instance host. First, we have to create the dedicated host, and then on top of that, you can create your EC2 instance. Okay. Without having a dedicated host, you cannot create the EC2 instance using the dedicated host. The dedicated host is nothing but the entire physical server. So here what I do is I will go with something like some CPU and RAM, 1 CPU, 4 GB RAM, or 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, that we can select according to the requirement. We will see that. So first we will see how to create an EC2 instance using the dedicated tenancy model. I mean, where we have to change the option. So go to your EC2 and directly we can create the instance. While creating the instance, we have to change the option in advanced details. So here I will say dedicated. Select your operating system. But you guys don't create in the practical. Just check which option you have to change. So you can select all the required things. There is no change in the options. This is the place where we have to select the tenancy model. Click on advanced details. Actually, earlier we selected this to create the spot instance, right? But now we are not creating the spot instance. We are creating the on-demand instance only, but using the dedicated tenancy model. For that, you have to scroll down. There is one option called tenancy, right? So in this tenancy, you have to select the dedicated. You have to select dedicated. If you don't select anything, automatically it will select the shared. If you don't select any option, by default, the EC2 instance will be the shared tenancy model. Almost like 95% every time we will use the shared tenancy model only, unless you have a specific requirement to use the dedicated or a dedicated instance. So select, if I select this, then my some separate hardware will be allocated for myself, and all my EC2 instances will be created on that dedicated hardware. And you can see whenever I select dedicated, I got additional charges applied. If you click on that, you can see the charges for that dedicated instance. If you click on that additional charges apply, then it will open a new page where you will get the charges for all the instances. So here, these are the charges for dedicated instance. So let me select the T3.micro. In which region we are in? Ohio. Okay, let me change that to the Northern Virginia. Wait a second. What is the cost? But what is the earlier cost of the T3.micro Windows in the on-demand? Shared tenancy. 0.17 or 18 or something, right? 19. Okay, 19. But now it is extra, almost like how much? 1%. 1% cost extra, approximately 1%. So obviously, whenever you go for the dedicated instance, it will cost you some additional amount. Okay, right. So if you go for the dedicated host, that will cost you a huge amount. You cannot compare that. If you go for the dedicated host, that will charge you a huge amount. Let me show you that pricing also. I'm not sure they provide you the dedicated host pricing here. It seems they didn't provide it in this page, but here it will be loaded. Just wait. So these are reserved instances they provided. Okay. So here the T3.micro, if it is a dedicated instance, it will cost you like, it is a reserved instance, they will charge you like $11 per month. $11 per month. It like approximately 4. Okay. Sorry. Which one? This on-demand rate is this one. This monthly fees, you have to pay this. And then you have to pay this amount on an hourly basis. This is a monthly charge for the dedicated host. And this hourly rate, maintaining for hourly and all the things. Obviously, the dedicated host is the costliest option. There is a charge for your EC2 instance, and there is a charge for that physical server, the host. Very occasionally, we will use this one. I think I gave you some kind of use case, right? If the license requires a number of CPUs and everything, because there are few licenses which will work based on your number of CPUs and everything. In that case, you have to use that. Okay, so to create the EC2 instance using dedicated, then in this tenancy model, you have to change this. And then how can we create a dedicated host? Because before selecting the dedicated host, first we have to create the dedicated host. In the EC2, under the instances, you have to click on the dedicated host. And here you have to click on allocate dedicated host. You can see my host one, you can give any name, and instance family. I would like to go with something like T3. Support multiple instance types. So you can launch different instances on that instance family. So you can select in which availability zone you would like to create that particular dedicated host, and how many you need, and then you need to click on allocate. So one T3.micro will be allocated to you. T3.micro host, like a physical server, will be allocated to you. But don't create that. Just I will click on that because T3.micro is very small. 1 second. Dedicated host, it may take some time for them to stop counting towards your limit. Okay, right now it seems I haven't increased that. So by default, you will get the limit of 0. That means you cannot create dedicated host by yourself. So how can we create the dedicated host? We have to increase the limit. So first thing, before creating the dedicated host, I can say we have to increase by default the limit for the dedicated host is 0. So increase the limit. So now question is how to increase the limit. How to increase the limit? So there is one concept called service limit increase. There is a concept called service limit increase. By using that option, you can increase almost all the type of service limits. So we have some limits also. Like, okay, so by default, in any Amazon account, how many elastic IPs we can create per region? 5. That is called as a soft limit, which we can increase. In the same way, I think I haven't mentioned yet how many EC2 instances you can create per region by default. 20 is the limit. You cannot create more than 20. What if I need like 25 EC2 instances? Chargeable. Even for the first 20 also, you will be charged. Limit means the number of instances you can create. Limit means you cannot create more than that. That doesn't mean that limit means before the limit you will not be charged. That is not the meaning of the limit. Limit is you cannot create more than that. It seems like you don't think like the number of EC2 instances is 20 means you can create 20 instances for free. That is not the meaning of that. You cannot create more than 20. If you need more than 20 instances, you have to create a support ticket, which we call it as service limit increase. So anyways, we have to increase that. Just I will show you how can we create that particular service limit increase ticket. And there is a place where you can check the limits for each and every component and each and every service. So to do that, just go to your Amazon account. And here you can see there is some support symbol, right? Click on this particular question mark symbol. You will get a support center. Click on the support center. Click on this support center. So now here, click on create case. What kind of case is our? Wait. What type of case is ours? Account and billing or technical? Technical. But what it is? Technical support is unavailable under the basic support plan. Which option we have to set? But our account is our case or request is not related to account and billing, right? If you see here, what is this? Looking for service limit increase. Yes, right? Click on that. So now select the service limit increase. Now limit type. What type of limit you would like to increase? EC2 dedicated host. And let us say if you would like to check what is the quotas, like what is the limitations, you can click on this button. So it will open a new tab where you can check what is the limits and everything that we can see later. But for now, we will see this. So region, in which region you would like to increase? Northern Virginia. What happened? This one, Northern Virginia. And for which instance family? T3, right? It seems T3 is not available. So I will go with C3. New limit value, I would go for 1. I need 1 dedicated host. And you can type everything, whatever you need, and you can click on submit. You have to write the requirement. What is your requirement? Why you need? So that they will increase the limit. Okay. So that you can create 1 dedicated host. And here I have used, I clicked on some tab, quota dashboard. So this is the place where you can check the complete quotas. Click on the AWS services. So already we are done with EC2, right? Let me select the EC2, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So it will show you the limits for each and every service. So here, what all we know? EC2, right? Classic EC2 Elastic IPs. How many? So first one is applied quota value, default quota value. Is it adjustable or not? Okay. So now here, right now we have a 5. And is it adjustable? That means, can we increase that limit? Yes, you can increase that. And how many reserved instances per month we can create? 20 reserved instances. If you need more than that, you can create a ticket. And also here you can see, we are not yet done with the VPC and everything. I think we are done with the IAM service also, right? How many users we can create by default? What is the maximum number of IAM users we can create? How many? How many? 8. 5,000. Is it, can we modify that? No. There is a fixed value, which is 5,000. And per user, if you provide a programmatic access type, how many key pairs he will get? Maximum, how many we can? 2 you can. You cannot create a third one. You cannot create the third set of key pairs per user. That you can check. Just create one user with programmatic access. Go to the user properties. And again, try to generate one more pair. You can try to generate one more, which is not possible. If you delete one of the existing one, then you can create the other one. At a time, any user can have only 2 pairs of keys. Where it is, somewhere that will also be displayed here. Yeah, here it is. And which cannot be adjustable. And how many groups we can create maximum by default? 300. Can we change that? Yes. Can we change that? Yes, you can. So in this page, you can check all the things. So what I do is, I will add this link. Sorry. I will add this link into the notepad also. So you can go through that particular link to check the default maximum limits of each and every service. So in the same place, you can see whether is it extendable or not. And already if you have requested some quotas to be increased, that options you can see here. Okay. So basically you have to go to the AWS services in the service quotas, and you can check for any service. Any service. If you know any other service, you can type that and you can check for that also. But we haven't covered any service yet, right? That's why we cannot check much now. But after completing half of the topics, you can check, you can go to that place and you can check every service and what is the default limit. Are we able to increase it or not? Everything you can check. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is about the EC2. So we have one more concept left, a small topic only, but that we cannot cover now, which is a kind of a bootstrap scripts, which is also called as a user data, that we can see in the next session on Monday. That will take hardly 15 minutes or so. We'll complete that, and then we can start with the storage service, which is a EBS. But try to complete the practicals over the weekend. It seems you guys are doing the practicals blindly. Like, don't follow the steps blindly. Just try to understand why you are doing that particular practicals. What is the use of the option, whatever you are selecting. If you don't try to understand, and if you're doing blindly, at the end of the day, you can complete the practical, but you cannot understand the concept. Sometimes it might take like 2 days or 3 days to complete a single topic. But there is no need to rush, right? Just go slowly and try to understand each and every option, whatever you are selecting or whatever you are modifying. Okay? Because we are using security group for all the instances, right? Just try to understand what is that security group, how it works, what is the use case of that, or what is the function of that security group. If you don't modify that, how it behaves. If you modify the security group, then how the behavior will change. Try to open the security group and try to observe like what is available in the security group. Might be it will in the initial days, it will take some time to understand, but going forward, that will be very easy for you to understand the concept. So how many of you opened the security group and observed after the creation? So these are the security groups we created as of now, right? How many of you opened individually and observed what was written there? So this is the one, right? Click on that. Yeah. So here there is an inbound rules, outbound rules. Inbound rule. There are some inbound rules here which is not visible clearly. Let me click on edit inbound rules. So this is the existing rule. What is the meaning of this rule? This security group will allow the RDP type of a traffic which is coming on 3389 port from anywhere. This 0000 indicates anywhere, all IP address. Source it is, right? Source means from where the request is coming. If the request is coming from this IP address indicates all IP address. That means if the request is coming from anywhere across the globe, that request will be allowed through the security group to reach the EC2 instance. Instead of this, if I select this one, what is the meaning of that? Only from this location, the EC2 instance is accessible. The meaning of this rule is, if the traffic is coming from this IP address belongs to this location, then only the request will be allowed. If I go to home and if I try to log in, which is not possible because my home IP address will be different. Okay. All right. So this is about the EC2, and tomorrow is a holiday, right? Sunday. So just try to practice, like try to understand the practical concept, because theory you can read anytime, but you have to understand how it is getting implemented. Try to create your first EC2 instance. So what all getting created, key pair, security group, public IP, private IP. Try to understand about those components. What is the use, how it works, and all the things. Then just go to another EC2 instance. Try to create it. So observe the difference and try to log in. And what are the tools you are using? Why should we use that tool only? Is there any alternative way to log in? Just try to analyze in a different ways. So you will get the concept and easily you can remember the topics. Okay. All right. So before closing the session, are you guys clear or any questions? If you have any questions on this EC2, just let me know. Sorry. Spot instance. Okay. Sorry, spot. Okay. No, directly you can create the spot instance, and the spot instances cannot be created under reserved instances mode. If you go to the reserved instance, you cannot create the spot. I mean, like what we call that? On demand is there, reserved is there, spot instance is there, right? So you cannot combine all the things together. Both are different. In the reserved instance, that is having a contract like tenure and the payment method. On demand is a different method, like flexible, more flexible. Spot instance is you will get more discount, but you don't know when your instance will be deleted. That is the advantage and disadvantages. Which one? Hosting website. Okay. I forgot about your question. Could you please rephrase the question? Okay. Right. Okay, I uploaded the document in the Google Drive. I uploaded a document, and the document name will be IAM-web server. If you open that, you can see all the commands. Whatever the commands you have to execute, that is available. Just try to execute that commands and understand the command also, like what is the use of the command and everything. Based on that, you can what we call that, the website will be up and running. So what else is not mentioned in that is the security group. You have to open 80 and 443 ports, that you have to update. You can see the commands there. You can check. Okay. Any other questions? And if you are clear, you guys can leave. If you have any questions, you can wait and you can ask me. Okay. Right. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue from Monday. Monday, we will complete the leftover topic user data, and then we can discuss about the EBS, which is the storage option. Yeah, which is related to the EC2 only. Services that are available on AWS will be taught by you, right? 200 plus services. Okay, so how many required for the solutions architect that I will share the document also. Okay. That those entrance exams, they will be MCQs, right? The solution and cloud practitioner. Cloud practitioner is the entry level. Entry level. Solutions architect is not entry level, but that is the requirement. Cloud practitioner is not that much. The question will be like MCQ based, right? But the choice of what it is. Few questions we have only one answer, and few questions we have better. Yes, Pavan, you can unmute and you can ask the question, please.
Okay. Hi, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. So I had two questions. One question is on the elastic IP address concept.
Okay.
I wanted to understand like how different it is in comparison to IP6 and IP4 in cloud computing.
Cloud, you cannot select your IP version 6 as of now.
Okay.
You cannot assign an IP version 6 to your EC2 instance, but
Okay.
cloud will support the communication over IP version 6.
Okay. So here, if I want to understand what is elastic IP address, so in a simple manner, what will be the use of that? I mean,
sorry, come again.
What is the use of elastic IP address and
elastic IP? Okay, generally,
yeah.
whenever you create the EC2 instance, it will get one public IP, right?
Yes.
Public IP is required to establish the communication over the internet.
Yes.
But whatever
Yes.
the public IP you get, that will change if you stop and start the EC2 instance.
Yes, correct.
That is not the fixed one. Whereas the elastic IP is the fixed public IP.
Okay.
Static public IP. Technically, you can call it as a static.
So, so I can say that elastic IP address is also a kind of a public IP address, but it is a static public IP.
That's correct. Normal public IP is a dynamic public IP, whereas the elastic IP is a fixed static public IP.
Okay. Cool. And the second question was on the security group. I was actually
Okay.
digging in deep. I
Mhm,
tried it, like, deploying a Jenkins, package.
mhm.
So I was able to run the Apache. I installed Java. I installed HTTPD, and I installed Jenkins also.
Okay.
But after running the services, even I'm able to see that the Jenkins service is running, actively
Okay.
running. I
Okay.
have restarted it, but multiple times till a public IP address, it is showing me the Apache is up and running.
Okay.
But when it comes to Jenkins, even though Java is already installed, it is disabled. I mean, I tried enabling the other part. There is another area where it says so and so is disabled. Whereas in Jenkins repo site, it says that it should be both the services should be enabled in Jenkins. So Jenkins service is enabled, but there is one more component in the Jenkins that is disabled, and when I'm trying to enable it, it is not happening. So what could be the reason that it is not enabled?
Which version of operating system you are using?
I was using Red Hat. I think 7, 8. I think 8. Red Hat 8,
That 8.
and yeah, Red
Mm,
Hat.
okay.
And
So I'm not
yeah.
sure what exactly the problem is.
Hmm.
Have you tried on any other operating system? Because Red Hat is licensed version, right?
Yeah.
So as far as I do remember,
Hmm.
to do some kind of installations or something, I think it requires some license subscription or something. But might like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not
Okay.
sure about that. Just try to install the same thing on something like CentOS.
Okay.
So just give it
So,
a try, and
so,
based on that, let
so
me know.
on a dependencies wise, this is enough, right? I mean, Java is enough. Uh, HTTPD is enough, and the Jenkins normally whatever the package it requires, Mark Monarch or something, that is kind of a package name of a Jenkins. Everything was there, but only thing was like from port 8080, I was not able to connect. I
Okay,
was
so then
yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
check, is there any other application running on that port 8080 in the same machine? Like you can do something called netstat, some command will be there. You
I
can Google it.
actually checked with PS-EF
Okay,
80.
even that also you can.
Yeah, so with 8080, I saw that it is somewhere configured in the environment with Java. I mean, Jenkins is only running, but at the same time, HTTPD is also on 80. So is it the reason that's why
No,
it is
80
not?
is different, 8080 is different. You are saying both are 80, or one is 80 and the second one is 8080?
Second, like first one was HTTPD was on 80, and Jenkins was on 8080.
Yeah, that means 8080, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's not an issue.
8080.
That has to be in the same way.
Okay. So on the security group side, in this case also we are good. I mean,
Okay, if you got any doubt on the security group, for short
hmm,
term, open all traffic.
all tab. Okay.
All traffic. If it works, then definitely the problem is with the security group. If still
Oh,
it doesn't work, then that is not the related to security group thing.
so all trap in the sense it's a command.
No. In the
Uh,
security group, which
uh,
security group you are talking about? The EC2 instance security group, right?
yes, yes, yes,
So if you go to the security group, you are writing the rule, right? What is that? SSH, HTTP. Instead
yes,
of
yes.
that, select all traffic.
Okay, all traffic,
Yes.
customizing
So
and flipping
yeah,
it
it will
to.
open every incoming request
Okay, okay,
just to
and
check that, like whether is there any issue with the security group or not.
okay, okay.
If you do that and then it will start working, then definitely you have to open something else in the security group. You have to open some other ports.
I see. And I have observed that you have also opened the RDP protocol. So when we are already opening the HTTP protocol, and from a Windows machine through a browser, we are trying to open a web application or a, any web application hosted on EC2 instance, that too on a Linux platform. Is it required that we have to open RDP because we
No,
are opening it?
for
No, right?
Linux, not required.
Yeah, not required. Perfect.
RDP is only just to log into the
Remote
instance, Windows,
login.
yeah, remote login.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
nowhere related with website connectivity and all the things.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. So I just trying to connecting the dots because I didn't try with RDP. but this
Okay.
is somewhere only for connecting it. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. This
Yeah.
is all done from my
Yep.
side.
Thank you. And yeah, Prakar, you can unmute and just you can ask the question.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Sir, if suppose we have created some EC2 instance of Windows or Linux
Okay.
and associate some elastic IP to it.
Okay.
So, and if suppose we delete that instance,
Okay.
then what will happen to that elastic IP? Will we
That
get?
will be in your account.
So
That
after 1
will
hour,
be
yeah.
after 1 hour.
Hmm.
After 1 hour of non-association, you will start charging. Amazon will start charge you for that elastic IP.
Okay. So
And you
elastic,
can use that elastic IP with any other EC2 instance also, if required.
okay. So it will not get deleted
No.
automatically once the instance.
No.
Okay.
No.
Sir, my second question is like if we have seen the scenarios of public IP and private IP and elastic IP.
Right.
So, sir, we have used public and elastic. Then what is the use of private?
Sorry. Come again.
Sir,
Private IP. Okay, I got
Yeah.
your question. Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
What is the use of a private IP?
Yeah,
Right.
we haven't
Okay.
used.
Let us say in your cloud you have two servers. One is a web server and the other one is a database.
Okay.
Just for an example. So the web server always communicate with the database to read the data and to write the data. And both are in the same network, right? So what is your preference to establish the communication? Would you like to go through the internet or internally would you like to communicate?
Internally, sir.
That's why private IP. And one more, moreover, public IP is not assigned directly to your EC2 instance. So every machine must have a private IP in your network. Then every private IP will be mapped with a public IP. That is called as one-to-one mapping.
Okay.
Without having a private IP, how can you maintain your internal network? You must have an internal network, right?
Okay. Yeah.
The reason behind why I don't use those terms is that is not required for us. If I start using those things, most of the people will get confusion, right?
Yes.
That's why. Yeah.
So, sir, it is necessary that both that application server and database server will be on the same region.
Yes, for not mandatory. Not mandatory.
Okay, at any, like one will be in Mumbai and second will be
anywhere, but whenever you maintain across two different regions, latency will be there, right?
Yes, sometime.
So, yeah, that's why.
Okay. And sir, in AMIs, like what we have seen, like can we make tailored AMIs? Like I want a VLC server, VLC software. I want a Coral Draw.
That is the what we call that. That is the use case of the AMIs. You can create your own AMI. I think yesterday we have seen the same, right?
Yes.
But instead of those things, what I did is I installed a simple web server software. I created some data and I used that to create the AMI.
Yeah, we have made the copy of one server and created another.
Exactly.
So we can make tailored also.
Exactly. You can do.
Okay, sir. Yeah,
because my requirement is not yours, right? You have a different requirement.
Yes. Yeah. It's like it differs from person to person.
Right.
Yes. That's all, sir. I have done from myself.
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay, then Vinita, you can unmute and just you can ask the question.
Hello.
Yes.
Actually, sir, like I did not get the drive access yet. So can you please add my email address?
Yeah, sure. Have you shared your email ID with me?
Yeah, I have shared it earlier. So
okay. Could you please share the chat box for? Yeah, could you please share now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I missed yesterday and day before yesterday classes. So can I get the recordings?
That you have to check with the admin. Like, who is your admin?
Suresh.
Yeah. Could you please check with him? Yeah.
Okay, fine, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
And yeah, Vahini, you can unmute and just you can ask the question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you can. You can go ahead.
Okay. While we are creating an EC2, you created one is in Windows, one is in Linux, right?
Yes.
But you, were web server hosting. You saw example in Linux server, right? Linux in EC2.
Right.
Created. How we can create a web server hosting in Windows?
You can go for, you have to download some web server. Like there are n number of web servers are there. Like Apache, you can download Apache software like XAMPP or Microsoft IIS. There are like
Directly we can go to installations and all, or else and we need to.
you have to download it from the internet.
Okay, after downloading, we can
You have to
install
install
directly into the Windows system. How we are doing in
Yes.
physical laptop.
That is a software. The web server
Yes.
is nothing but a software, like how you can install in your
In
laptop.
your
The same way
laptop,
you can.
physical
Yeah.
laptop.
Yes.
Okay. So in Linux, it will be have some commands. In Windows, we can do it normally. Windows
Even in the
server.
Linux also, whatever you do the command, that will be downloaded from the internet only. But that's
Yes.
direct downloading.
Direct download. But
Yes.
we in Windows, it will be graphical user interface.
Right.
We can.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay, then thank you everyone. Let's continue on Monday.